and gentlemen of this convention, it is my privilege to place in nomination the name of one American to whom all can pledge support, in whom all can place confidence, a great leader of his party and his people, the President Lyndon Baines Johnson. My fellow Americans, I accept your nomination. I pledge the firmness to defend freedom, the strength to support that firmness, and a constant, patient effort to move the world toward peace instead of war.
These fellows are not conservatives in the American tradition. They're just interested in tearing down institutions, not in preserving them. They are dedicated to extreme ideas, not to old values. They advocate aggressive interference with other nations, not increased reliance on others to order their own affairs. This is not a conservative philosophy. This is not even a Republican philosophy. This is not a philosophy ever embraced by any major American leader. Conservative may be written on their banner and in their books, but radical is in their hearts.
We want nothing for ourselves, only that the people of South Vietnam be allowed to guide their own country in their own way. I wish it were possible to convince others with words of what we now find it necessary to say with guns and planes. Armed hostility is futile. Our resources are equal to any challenge. Once this is clear, then it should also be clear that the only path for reasonable men is the path of peaceful settlement. This legislation marks the end of an era of partisan cynicism towards human want and misery. The dole is dead. The pork barrel is gone. Federal and state, liberal and conservative, Democrat and Republican, Americans of these times are concerned with the outcome of the next generation, not the next election. And that is what the provisions of this legislation clearly reflect. It is fitting that such landmark legislation should be identified with the Appalachia region of our nation. In our history, no region has contributed more to the shaping of our destiny. my first job after college was as a teacher in Cotulla, Texas, in a small Mexican-American school. Few of them could speak English, and I couldn't speak much Spanish. My students were poor, and they often came to class without breakfast, hungry. And they knew, even in their youth, the pain of prejudice. They never seemed to know why people disliked them, but they knew it was so, because I saw it in their eyes. I often walked home late in the afternoon after the classes were finished, wishing there was more that I could do. But all I knew was to teach them the little that I knew, hoping that it might help them against the hardships that lay ahead. And somehow you never forget what poverty and hatred can do when you see its scars on the hopeful face of a young child. I never thought then, in 1928, that I would be standing here in 1965. It never even occurred to me in my fondest dreams that I might have the chance to help the sons and daughters of those students and to help people like them all over this country. But now I do have that chance. And I'll let you in on a secret. I mean to use it. These are the enemies. Poverty, ignorance, disease. They are our enemies, not our fellow man, not our neighbor. And these enemies too, poverty, disease, and ignorance, we shall overcome.